You know what's crazy is we were kind of getting stuff wound up for the summer at the shop, and we're starting to plan our trip up to Estes Park, going to Colorado, and so we got a camping trip coming up. I'm pretty excited about it, and it just got me kind of thinking, man, I'm excited for it to cool down a little bit because I would like to start kind of getting into camping again. We got the farm out there that we got some space to get to go camping, like true camping under the stars.
There's a lot of space out there.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping whenever it kind of cools down, we can start getting back into that. And it was just kind of running some funny camping stories through my head.
Yeah. So the thing about camping, though, is you got to be prepared. You cannot forget anything. You got to bring your flashlight, depending on where you go, right? Bring your flashlight. You got to bring, your sleeping bag or, your tent. Can't forget your fucking tent. And I feel like for me personally, that's kind of the fun thing is kind of gathering all your shit. And then when you get out there, you're like, okay, I got this. I got a fucking fire starter. I got, a little, what do they call it? Those little gas,
like propane.
Yeah, a little propane
stove.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I love camping.
Yeah, it was funny. One time we went camping, and it was whenever I was a senior, still in high school, and so we did a trip to Marble Falls. So Marble Falls is about 2 hours from here, and they have a really, really nice off-roading track. And I don't do anything off-road, but all of my buddies had Jeeps, and they all had lift kits and everything else. So my buddy Corey, it was myself, Corey, Ian. Nope, Ian couldn't make it. Adam was there, and then we had this guy Taylor. So it was like all four of us were going to go camping, and they all had Jeeps. So we were going to go bring. I rode with Corey. I think Taylor rode with Adam. So we only had to take two, but it was like, okay, we're going to take two Jeeps so we can go over different trails. One of them had a little bit better lift kit. So it was like, man, this is going to be so cool. We're going to get out there. And first night, like you're talking about being prepared. First night, it was like, dude, we couldn't get a fire going. Like, dude, to save our lives. And it was like, okay, here's some lighter fluid. It would go out. Okay, here's some gas. Put some gas on there. It would burn, and then it would go out. And then it was like at one point, freaking Adam was trying to get like an extractor, and he was like trying to pull oil out of his car, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll just put a little oil on it too."
No way.
And I was like, "All right."
All right.
and I looked over, and there was like a Mexican family over like right to the left or right to us, and it was like huge fire. Everyone's just like having the best time of their life, and we're just like sitting over here in the dark. We're like, "All right, well." I kind of was like, my pride is kind of, I've already hit my limit for it. So I was like, just walked over there, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I can't get a fire going."
And, like, oh my God,
yeah,
this
I was
guy.
just like, dude, I don't know what the shit I'm doing. So he comes over and he goes, "Oh, no, did you try gas?" And I was like, "Yeah, we did that." And he goes, No. Let me show you. And then he's the one who showed me that trick where you cut the can.
Okay.
So he took the aluminum cans, just a regular beer can, and he just cut just like this section off, just the top, and then filled the rest full of gas. And he was okay, now you just light it. And of course I'm thinking, okay, it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
But because the aluminum holds the gas, when you light it, it just burns that top layer, and it'll burn like a tiki torch. So it'll just slowly burn down. So what he told me was, whenever you need to get a fire going, he goes, I always camp with a Gatorade bottle full of gas, and he just uses it for that. So it's like, okay, because you're always going to have beer cans usually, or some can. And yeah, he goes, yeah, man, whenever you want to do it, you just build the fire, and then you stick the can underneath it, and you just light it, and it'll just continuously burn, and then it'll keep everything going.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Nope,
So
wow.
So,
but that being said, don't try this at home, kids.
you should not. You can, because I have done it in a chimney because somebody was like, "That's bullshit."
Yeah.
But
Have some adult supervision. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Dude, if you're not old enough to go buy gas at the gas station, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's a little camping nip-tick trick.
Okay.
Was that he kind of taught me. So if you're ever gonna go camping, especially somewhere where it may be like kind of cold, or maybe it might rain, it's gonna be like a wet weekend.
Okay.
You can still start your fire that way, because worst case scenario, it's gonna burn that section of wood for like 30 to 40 minutes before it goes out, and hopefully by that point it would have dried off or caught everything else up.
Okay.
So
So
Kind of a cool trick.
Marble Falls, you
Yes.
said, right? So that's a pretty, good hot spot, you'd say, for camping, for people out there that don't really know
Yeah,
Texas
it's
that
super
well?
super pretty.
Okay.
After I had gone up there camping, I think I went back for like a BG golf trip or something that I had to go like volunteer at booth at. But it was like we're back up there, man, and there's just a beautiful river that cuts right through it.
Dang.
There's lots of cool little businesses like right there on the water. They do have some cool camping areas. The biggest reason for us going there was just because they had big tracks that you could go up and down mountains.
Yeah, in the Jeeps.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's
There was a
badass.
it had rained that first night that we got there, which was funny because again, you talk about like being prepared. As we had like kind of got our tent and everything set up that before we left the house. It was like, okay, we threw it out, and I was fairly sure we checked everything.
Oh.
So we get back, and throw it back in there. 2 days later goes by. We drive down to Marble Falls, so we're already 2 hours from home, and we're like getting set up. And I like toss the bag out, and I'm like, "Here's pull. Where is like the little octagon piece in the middle that everything connects to?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Fuck!" I remember pulling it out, like, and putting it in the grass. And it was like, as we're sitting there and we're just trying to figure it out, the other guy who's with us has getting his tent set up, and he was like, "The first one to help me set up my tent gets to sleep in it."
Oh, get out of here.
I was like, "Fuck you, dude!" But we ended up finding
That's
it. We
cool.
ended up having it, but it ended up being good because that first night we had like a torrential rainstorm that like the water seeped through our tents, and we all had to like get out of our tents and sleep in the Jeep.
Damn. So this is right in Texas Hill Country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful area. I mean, I've never been there, but I've been in the Hill Country before, and I can only imagine how fucking awesome that place
It's
is.
nice, man. It's cool. Again,
So there's a lot of. I'm sure you could, if you had an RV or something. You could
yeah,
probably.
yeah, they got a lot of RV options and stuff up there too. But it's just, I don't know. It's a little nicer, a little more expensive part of the Hill Country, but
Yeah.
I think it's super nice.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if you got 2 hours to burn and want to go sit, waterside or shoot.
When I was driving up to get my last tattoo, my artist is, I forgot what it's called. Not Jefferson City. It's somewhere like west of Austin, but you go up through.
Oh, Johnson City.
Not Johnson City.
Oh.
It's more east. So it's like in between Johnson City and Austin.
Okay.
But you have to go up through Marble Falls and then head off east to get through it. And I just remember going through Marble Falls and I was like, damn, it's beautiful up here.
Damn.
Like, I want to take a day trip and just like bring Brittany and the kids and just because we like to go to like, Fredericksburg or Bernie and just walk around. And I'm like, this seems like a real nice place to just like have a day out, walk around, go to the shops, sit by the river because the river is massive. It's big. But I mean, then this was
big.
This was, what was it, summer? So it was like right after we got back from our trip, and there's a lot of people doing like, water sports and stuff like that up there. So
It's fun, dude.
it is pretty. I've only driven through it though.
I've seen a lot of Instagram reels showcasing like that area, like Dripping Springs. What's the other one? Marble Falls and all that. Dude, you definitely need to check it out if you're.
Especially in the fall. I'm sure the fall foliage starts kicking in.
Ooh, yeah.
Which we are officially in fall now.
Definitely, it's 90 some degrees now.
Dude,
so-
sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Let's say we were at a cool 95 degrees.
Oh yeah, it feels nice, man. When you're driving, you roll down the window. It's
it's
starting
like-
to feel nice.
I mean, it's nice when you wake up in the morning and it's like I'm going to get the car packed with the kids and stuff, and I roll up the garage door. I feel that fresh morning air coming. I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's nice and crisp. I'm like, yes,
Hell yeah.
all right. Even though it's like 72 and crispy, like it's better than what it's been. It's better than the whole like wake up in the morning it's 88. But yeah, I had a question for y'all in regards to camping.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it comes to camping, are you guys more of the like traditional old school camping tents, or are you more of like you'd rather
glamper?
have like a trailer or an RV?
I personally, I like just regular camping.
Yeah.
I will, I'll modify it a little bit and say I'll put a cot in there, so I'm not just on the ground.
Yeah.
Or maybe a blow up mattress if I can get one. But I don't know. I like tent camping. Glamping's great also.
Right.
But I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like I'm the same way. I like the traditional
Yeah.
camping, stuff like that. I don't know. It just feels like you're within,
It's
nature.
camping.
It's
Freaking
camping.
dadgum, man. I am nature.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like whenever, because we used to camp a lot as kids with my dad, and we did nothing but tent camping, and like every now and then you go fishing. Like we camp on some of the lakes out there in California, and you catch fish, and then we just bring it over and cook it over the fire and eat that, and which we didn't catch many fish, but when we did, that's what we did. But it's like something about just kind of disconnecting from like the busyness of life. I feel like I went one time with my uncle, my dad's brother. He had like a real nice like RV, like an RV, right? And he went down in San Diego, in Mission Bay. There's like this like whole like camp, like it's camping, but it's just everyone in their RVs just lined up, and you're super close to each other, and they're like, we're camping at the beach. It's like, is this really? Because you're either out on the beach, like you're at the beach like in the water, or you're back at your RV and you're sitting inside playing friggin' like Xbox or whatever, And it's like that's not really camping to me. Like camping is like I'm roughing it, and it's like we would cook our food. Like we'd have like a propane stove, but it's always fun to just like cook your food over the fire, like especially when you're like a young boy. It just makes you feel like I'm a man. Look, I got my hot dog on a stick over an open fire.
Yeah, I know. Whenever we were, just learning how to camp, and learning how to like hunt and shoot and everything else. I'd go down to the farm as a kid. Once I got old enough to be trusted to shoot and everything else, my parents and my grandma who used to live down there, my aunt, her rule was, if you want to go hunting, want to go shoot something, you can, but anything you kill, you're skinning it.
Yeah.
Because you're not killing these things for fun.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot it, you're going to use the meat. You're going to make it mean something.
Yeah.
So it was like, when he was talking about, get your meat on the grill. I just remember it was like, freaking skin them, toss the guts out there. And then you get like, after like 40 minutes of dicking with it, you're like, I got a fucking leg this big. Yeah. You're like hoping and praying that you get the disease off of it. And then of course, it's like, hey, how is it? Is that good? Oh, it's great.
It's delicious.
Hell yeah, I did this. And you're just like,
that's why I'm chewing on it for so long, because it's delicious.
I'm savoring the flavor. Realistically, you're like, fuck.
That's great, man.
I think this thing's going to get me sick.
Yeah. You got to be careful with that shit.
Yeah, one of the most like beautiful places I've ever camped was the Grand Canyon. And so we went. I don't camp on the Grand Canyon. That's not safe. Like right on the edge. Don't do that. But like right outside, I remember when we were younger, like right outside the entrance to Grand Canyon National Park, there's like a big campground. And we camped there with like my dad and my stepmom, my brother and my stepbrother. I think my stepmom was pregnant with our youngest at the time. I can't remember. But we were out there, and my dad loves to just like mess with us, and he knows that like growing up, especially, we were big ass chickens, dude. Like, so I was afraid of like every like monster thing or like so I didn't mess with anything. And at nighttime, just one thing that I just always remember. A funny story is, we. In the campground, there's like a fence and a gate, and you can go off, and there's like hiking trails, right? And if you've ever been near the Grand Canyon, there's beautiful like forest surrounding it. And so, my dad was like, "Hey, can you go out there and just like go check that rock for me or something like that?" And I'm like, "No, Dad, it's dark. It's like 9 p.m. Like it's like pitch black out there, just lit by the campfire, right?" He's like, "No, I think I left, my flashlight or my buck knife out there. Like, can you guys go check for me?" My dad, "I don't want to. It's dark. I can't see." He's like, "Just go. You'll be fine. We're watching. You're right here. There's nothing out here." So I start walking out, open the gate, walk out into the forest, and my dad takes some rocks and just chucks them out there So that when it hits the ground, it makes a noise, dude.
Yeah.
I freaked the fuck out. Dude. He threw him, and I'm just like, and I just booked it back. I was like, oh my god, there's something out there. I think it was a bear. I don't know. And he's like, you big chicken, that was just me. I was just throwing that. You guys a bunch of sissies out here. Get back over here. I was like, God, dude, now I'm traumatized. You know?
Yeah, now you're
Acting like a bunch of sissy girls.
Yeah. This is why I don't go camping anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't go into dark forest because of that story.
Great fucking memories, dude.